Hello, everyone. This is Michael Brack and my partner, Stuart Jenkins. We are doing a presentation for our research proposal on evaluating the housing policy response in Colorado's mountain communities. So an overview of the presentation that we're providing is we're going to address the problem that we are conducting our research to help solve. That will include an overarching research question. We will go over the literature review of the topic. And we also talk about our methodology of deploying our research and the analysis and conclusions that we can expect.
Thank you, Michael. So for both of us, this research study came about from something that's very personal for both of us, and that's around the topic of affordable housing in Colorado's mountain communities. Michael serves in local government in Colorado's high country for local government there. I grew up on the Western Slope in a small community outside of Aspen, one of Colorado's resort towns. So this is very personal and a particular interest for both of us, and we see it from different perspectives. What we've seen over the last several years has been that mountain towns are having an affordable housing problem here in Colorado. A survey put out by the Northwest Colorado Council of Governments last year revealed that high country residents ranked affordable housing and the availability of housing as severe problems. And this has created many cascading effects and that is crushing mountain workers. In the Vail Valley, for example, in a separate poll found that 80% of employers say they are struggling to hire workers. So workers are being priced out of their communities. They are unable to afford where they live, the biggest contributor to that being housing. And this creates a downward spiral for communities and local tourism that depend on tourism industries to sustain themselves. And in 2021, for example, the town of Crested Butte in Gunnison County stopped marketing itself to tourists because businesses simply did not have enough staff to keep the doors open. So this creates many cascading effects. So this led Michael and I to really ask ourselves, what are the policies that are effective at increasing the availability of affordable housing in Colorado's tourism-based towns? And this includes many questions of how local governments are collaborating with stakeholders, how they are approaching the issue, what are they doing to engage the tourism industry, residents, everyone at the table to make this affordable, to incentivize the production of more affordable housing.
Thanks, Stuart. So the major themes that we've pulled from the literature review, as it's pretty common knowledge with some of that, but the housing in Colorado, particularly in these more tourist-based mountain towns near the ski resorts, the housing is primary challenge for anyone to be able to work and live within a reasonable wage. And also, a lot of the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic have accelerated a lot of these housing crises. You know, a lot of people have been, who had second homes, who didn't live there more than a month or two, are now relocated and have called out their first home. So we've seen a lot of issues with locals, a desire to sell their housing and move elsewhere, and also the competition growing at a rate where locals who generally work in a lot of the service industry and a lot of the other, even the higher end paying jobs in the area, cannot compete with a lot of second homeowners for those housing units. Another major part from the literature is the increasing regulatory response from local governments because of these challenges. Well, in our report, we provide a lot of information regarding the SDR regulatory positions that a lot of these municipalities have taken. Also, a lot of zoning regulations for inclusionary zoning, and just really just strategic planning to help address this issue at the policy level, where a lot of these communities have been looking for some type of solution. Next slide. So our methodology to this approach with this research proposal is a qualitative study. This allows us to get a deeper understanding of the community dynamics and that local policy process. And we do look for the current and modern understanding from these communities. A lot of things have changed the last few years, so we really hope to gain this understanding. The way that we plan on deploying this is through an interview process with 8 mayors from Colorado Mountain resort communities that have been identified in the proposal. We will be using a semi-structured approach with these interviews, and that will allow us to have a baseline for some common questions that we'll ask everyone, but also provide us with a little bit of flexibility to dive in deeper where we see opportunities to really learn and pull more of that information out. The other part of our methodology is a thematic analysis, where we're looking to confirm any of the themes that we have found in the literature, and also how those themes have evolved or even completely changed in certain areas based on the current times right now with these municipalities and these challenges that they're seeing with housing. So that thematic analysis will take place through these recorded interviews that will take place over the internet or over the phone. We will transcribe these interviews. We'll look for pulling any kind of coding from those interviews, and also using the verbiage to confirm the thematic analysis and these emerging coding, these emerging other themes that either support existing themes or look to support new themes. I'll pass it to Stuart.
Thank you, Michael. So our anticipated findings from this is that every mountain town is responding to the housing crisis. That supports our proposition that there is an increasing regulatory response. We anticipate that communities will be taking different approaches. Some may focus more exclusively on short-term rentals that Michael mentioned. Others may look towards inclusionary zoning opportunities to require affordable housing in every development. So we expect a variety of approaches. And finally, we expect that policies that will be most effective, right? The essential question of what policies are effective shall include all stakeholders, shall work with business and residents to meet all the needs as equitably as possible.